At the beginning of the story, we are shown a family living happily, but they didn't know that in just a few minutes, something would happen to them, the very thought of which is terrifying. While the husband and wife were engrossed in their conversation, they suddenly started hearing screams and shouts from outside. When they both went outside, they saw a commotion among the people. People were fleeing their homes as if something big was about to happen. Jason and Beth saw that their neighbors were also panicked and quickly evacuating their homes. Jason asked the neighbor what was going on, why they were leaving their home, but they were in such a hurry that they didn't answer Jason's question. There they saw the neighbor's son also packing belongings. When Jason asked the child where they were going, the child replied that his dad's friend is a government officer. He said that a very poisonous virus has spread that turns a normal person into a monster. But then, the child's mother arrived, grabbed him, and left. Jason asked her what virus the child was talking about, to which the child's mother said there was no time to explain. Take your wife and daughter and get as far away from this city as possible. Jason and Beth panicked. After that, Jason hastily loads his family into the car and heads out of the city. But along the way, they see the neighbors who had fled turning back. Seeing this, they felt stranger, then got stuck in traffic. When Jason and his family got out of the car, they saw that the only road out of the city had been blocked by the police. Helicopters started patrolling the sky here and there. People were being told that a poisonous virus had spread in the city and that they should return home quickly. Jason questioned staying, not evacuating, during the city's outbreak. Boulder hit their car. They panicked. The mountains shook. Then two military jets emerged from behind the mountain, headed for the city, bombed relentlessly, and reduced it to ashes. Beth knew. Police said home doom. Then fighter jets moved toward people, sparking panic. Everyone quickly realized the government meant to kill them. Everyone scattered everywhere, trying to survive. But Jason and Beth realized wherever they ran, fighter jets would kill them anyway. Beth looked back, spotted a school on the mountain, and thought it safer for escape. Then Jason led Beth and Joey uphill toward the school. Fighter jets began bombing people on the bridge behind. The three of them ran quickly to the school. And luckily, they found a tunnel there and quickly entered it just a few seconds before the bomb explosion. As soon as the bunker door closed, there was a loud explosion above, but luckily, they were under the bunker and their lives were safe. But what was surprising for them was what kind of virus it was that the government had to kill everyone in the city. They couldn't understand anything. They had just realized that if they wanted to stay alive, they had to live quietly in the bunker. But what troubled them was how long they would have to live here and how they would manage food and water. The good thing was that there was a lot of expired food stored there, which could last for a long time for three people. Jason's wife, Beth, was very worried. She started thinking about her daughter Joey, wondering what they would do if she got sick. And Beth had also hurt her hand while closing the door, which was a very deep wound. They were also worried that the poisonous virus might have attacked their bodies. But this was not the time to think about it. They now had to make the bunker safe so that no one could open the bunker door from above. Jason firmly closed the bunker door with an iron chain and decided that they would now have to live their lives hiding here. But life underground wasn't easy. Same food daily, muddy drinking water, and in free time, they played cards. Their link to the outside world was severed. After many days here, they were miserable in the bunker. But what choice? Going up meant death, so they stayed. This life felt like the world ending for Jason's family. Joey asked, "Dad, how much longer are we staying here?" Jason had no answer to this. He just told his daughter that they would go out only when the virus outside was gone. He covers his daughter's eyes, making her imagine the outside world instead. Days passed like this, and then months. They didn't know that while waiting to get out, they had spent more than 300 days here in this bunker. Joey peers at the outside world through a periscope her mother built. Outside lies ruin, as if the whole world had burned to ash. No trace of anyone there at all. Seeing that, the little girl felt we might be the last people left on Earth. Her mother comforted her. Don't think that. Maybe your friends are hiding somewhere like us. Night had fallen. Time for dinner. They had little food left, so the three survived on small portions. But today, at Zoe's insistence, she was given a full can. When Zoe opened the tin, she saw it was empty inside. There was a small hole on the back. Maybe something had stolen all its food. When Beth checked all the remaining cans, she found 12 were empty. That worried her, since it was to feed her for 2 weeks. Beth eyed the vent grate, figuring maybe a rat slipped in and stole the food. Beth said that if it's a rat, we have to kill it soon, otherwise it will ruin all our food. Seeing his daughter's sad face, Jason comforted her. Don't stress over little things. If food runs out, I'll go upstairs for supplies. Next day, while Zoe played blocks with Mom, soft noise behind made her turn. A mouse sneaked in again to steal canned food. Before the rat escaped, Zoe called her parents. Today, they must kill it, regardless. Jason, in anger, took out a knife and moved forward to cut it into pieces. But the little rat was very fast. It escaped, saving itself from Jason's attack, and also knocked over the lantern on the table. Just as it was about to enter its hole, Beth suddenly pounced and killed the rat. They celebrated killing the rat while, on the other side, a fallen lantern slowly spread fire. Jason ran to turn off the lantern. It was very hot, which burned Jason's hand, and when the lantern's glass shattered, the entire table caught fire. Beth tore a curtain, trying to put out the fire. Jason drew half a bucket from the tap and doused the flames. Somehow, the two put out the fire, yet danger remained. In fact, tougher times for them were about to begin, because they had already extinguished the fire. But the smoke from the fire had filled the entire bunker, and that smoke was slowly escaping upwards through the ventilation grate. Seeing this, they panicked. The smoke exposed their location. Now, everyone sat holding their breath. Jason said night's darkness might mask the smoke so no one would discover our hideout. The three of them kept watch all night, under fear's shadow. The next morning, when they peeked outside through the periscope to reassure themselves, they were stunned. They saw a thick cloud of smoke outside, and their unease grew. They were now sure their hideout had been exposed. Then Beth said that if there's smoke, there must be ash collected nearby, and by investigating it, they could find our location. That's why we now have to clean up the ash. After that, the couple decided to go clean outside. Before leaving, Jason told his daughter Zoe, "Zoe, promise me that no matter what you hear from outside or whatever happens, you just won't go out." After making their daughter promise, they unlocked the door's chain. They listened carefully to the sounds outside, and when they were sure that no one was there, they opened the bunker door together and went out. Now their daughter was alone inside, awaiting her parents. After waiting long, when her parents didn't return, she climbed a stool and scanned outside with binoculars to check things. Soon, she saw her parents trying to hide the bunker door. But just then, Zoe saw something that made her breath catch in her throat. She saw a dark shadow in the distant forest rapidly moving towards them. She screamed. They couldn't hear. Panicked, she left the bunker. Stepping out, she realized her parents were gone. Panicked, the girl shouted for them, calling their names again and again. Her mom covered her mouth from behind. Seconds later, deer rushed by. Though the three barely escaped, their fear kept rising. The deer ran like that surely to flee something dangerous. Everyone sensed the danger, and they quickly ran back towards the bunker and got inside. Jason closed the bunker door with wooden planks and tied it tightly with an iron chain, telling everyone to remain absolutely silent. Just then they heard faint footsteps overhead. It sounded like someone heading to the bunker door. For several minutes, someone paced back and forth right above the bunker. The three of them slowly moved away from the bunker door and started walking forward, and perhaps whatever was above hadn't yet realized that someone was in the bunker below. Terrified, Zoe cried. Beth hushed her, warning if any sound reached outside, everything would be lost. The three had slowly moved far past the bunker door. They were moving away from the bunker door, so that even if someone opened the door from above, they wouldn't see us down here. But then, Zoe's doll string snagged on a screw. It slowly began loosening. Seeing this, Jason and Beth froze. The rope linked to doll's sound switch. Before they could act, screw popped free and noises burst from inside the doll. Jason immediately ripped the doll open and smashed the speaker, but it was too late. The thing above chasing them had sensed them. Suddenly, there was a loud crash from above, and then the echo of heavy footsteps stopped right above the bunker door. It had finally found their hiding place and started trying to open it. It was pushing the bunker lid hard, and despite it being locked with chains, the danger was clearly felt, and the monster above had found out that there was definitely someone down below. Although the door was locked with strong chains, in the face of the creature's terrifying strength, the chains began to break one by one. Seeing this, Jason knew the door wouldn't hold much longer, so he rushed inside and began ripping out the water pump's pipe. Here, Beth also showed courage and, climbing the ladder, used her body weight to pull the chain and try to keep the door closed. But still, the iron lid slowly began to open. Just then, a dark shadow appeared above the door, its eyes glowing like a light bulb, as if death itself were watching the three of them from above. Jason, without thinking, struck it with a pipe, knocking it back. He jammed the pipe in the door and shut it. The creature fled. Jason was still shaking hard. He never imagined the outside world held not only ruthless soldiers, but also deadly monsters roaming around freely. Entire families sit dejected by stairs, because their hideout was exposed. They knew an attack could come anytime. This time only one came. Next time, many will come. We won't stand a chance or be able to stop them at all when they return in force. Suddenly, the wardrobe shook. Jason and Beth realized it had summoned the others too. Loud footsteps could be heard from above, as if thousands of creatures were running over their heads. Then they gathered at the bunker door. Below, Jason, Beth, Zoe shook. They attacked suddenly. This time, the force was much greater. The iron door shattered and fell, and countless eyes glowed at the bunker entrance. Frightened, they started running backward, but the monsters were also following them. Beth drew her oil lamp, set the curtain between herself and them on fire, and holding the wardrobe, they both blocked the path between them. They all started running quickly towards the inside of the bunker, but they knew that this would not hold them off for long. They had no way to escape now. Just then, the child saw a ventilation shaft opening towards the ground. Jason broke it with force and pushed his wife and daughter outside with all his might. But when he tried to squeeze out, he got stuck in the tight space. Meanwhile, monsters closed in on him. Now Jason had to escape somehow. He saw no other way, so he broke his shoulder bone, which made him scream in pain. But he quickly composed himself and entered the ventilation shaft. Without delay, Beth pulled Jason out with all her strength. As he nearly escaped, a massive creature suddenly appeared and grabbed his leg. Jason, no escape. Locking eyes with his wife, Jason said, "Whatever happens, protect Zoe, no matter what." The very next instant, a monster yanked him into the bunker. Inside, he didn't flinch. He taunted it. "Come on, let's see how When Beth and Zoe looked down, loud screams were coming from the bunker. Beth understood that her husband was fighting to give them time to escape. In pain, she fled with her daughter, evading the monster, going far, until, while running, they sensed something strange nearby. They saw that where the highway used to open to the outside world, a high wall now stood, meaning no one could get out of this city anymore. Just then, a helicopter came flying from a distance. When Beth looked back, it was an army helicopter. The helicopter quickly approached them and shone its bright spotlight on them. Just as the two of them were about to escape, a large net fell on them from above, trapping them both. They both started trying every possible way to free themselves from the net, but the net had trapped them both tightly. Through the mesh of the net, Beth saw some green-eyed dark shadows approaching them. That's when we learned the story's true secret. These yellow-eyed people holding guns, whom we thought were monsters, were not actually aliens or people infected with a virus, but they were military soldiers wearing gas masks and night vision glasses. The same eyes whose yellow glow made them look like beings from another world. But why did the army become these people's mortal enemies? You'll learn the entire secret in the brief story coming ahead. Beth and Zoe were under the soldiers' control. One soldier drew a large syringe and jabbed each of their necks, one after the other. When their blood was tested, it was found that both of them were also infected with the poisonous virus, which meant that they were a threat to this earth, meaning they would now be killed. In fact, when the virus first spread, many in this small town were infected. This virus spread through the air, and it transmitted very quickly from one person to another. The infected people didn't even know they were sick, and the government had no antidote to stop the virus. The government had no other choice but to kill the infected people. Beth, sobbing, please let my child go. Seeing the soldiers wouldn't spare her little daughter, then Beth erupted in rage. Dark marks rose on her face, but before she could act, a soldier's neck erupted in blood. It was none other than Jason, back from death. Jason didn't die in the bunker. He lost control and killed all soldiers. At that moment, he was very angry, with black marks on his face and eyes red with rage. His body's strength had increased manifold, and it was clear that he was no longer the old Jason, but appeared in a different form. He started pouncing on the soldiers to kill them, but he couldn't stop the bullets from the firearms and fell to the ground. When soldiers approached Beth and Joey, they'd already broken net and fled. The soldiers searched far and wide for them, unaware Beth had also turned into a monstrous form. Joey fought, shot, fell on car roof. Hiding in dark, her daughter saw all. Seeing her parents, she snapped. With one leap, she dropped a soldier, shattered his mask, ready to kill him when Beth stopped her. She didn't want her daughter becoming a monster too. Beth calmed her. Slowly, green in her veins faded. She became human again. But the soldier wasn't lucky. His mask broke, and he slowly got the virus. Jason was in critical condition. He saw his daughter's face, brushed 2 fingers over his eyes, closed them forever. Another helicopter arrived. Beth fled with her daughter. Through scrap, she entered a tunnel. Then a light hit their eyes. Looking closely, it was the same little neighbor boy we saw at the story start. Then both of them followed him. The boy led them to a cave-like tunnel where his parents and many other people were hiding. In reality, they were people infected with the same virus. To survive, like rats. Dangerous, not deadly. This virus hit infected bodies harder when fear rose or anger escaped control. But in fact, those people had already learned self-control. They thought city soldiers were monsters, but they were monsters themselves. Story ends. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video.